Cool.
This is Human Culture Causes War. Man has the ability, unparalleled in scale in the animal kingdom, of passing on his experiences from one generation to the next. By this accumulative and exponentially growing process, which we call cultural evolution, he has been able to change his environment progressively out of all recognition. And this includes the social environment. This new type of evolution proceeds at an incomparably faster pace than genetic evolution. Genetically, we have not evolved very strikingly since Cro-Magnon man, but culturally we have changed beyond recognition and are changing at an ever-increasing rate. It is, of course, true that we are highly adjustable individually, and so could hope to keep pace with these changes. But I am not alone in believing that this behavioral adjustability, like all types of modifiability, has its limits. These limits are imposed upon us by our hereditary constitution, a constitution which can only change with the far slower speed of genetic evolution. There are good grounds for the conclusion that man's limited behavioral adjustability has been outpaced by the culturally determined changes in his social environment, and that this is why man is not a misfit in his own society.
Okay, I don't quite understand that last phrase. This is why man is not a misfit in his own society. What's that? What exactly does that mean?
That he's culturally changing so that...
So like...
Okay, well, that man has not fully matured at the same rate, or has not matured at the same rate as technology has.
Okay.
So he's a misfit.
This is why man is not a misfit.
Not a misfit?
Alright, I'm confused. Read that last sentence again.
There are good grounds for the conclusion that man's limited behavioral adjustability has been outpaced by the culturally determined changes in his social environment, and that this is why man is not a misfit in his own society.
It seems as though
behavioral adjustability been out. So he's changing culturally on his own, that's why it's determined?
man's inability to adjust behaviorally has been surpassed by...
So the culture's changing, but the behavior isn't. So
and that's why he's not a misfit in society?
Yeah, I don't get that.
That last part just shouldn't be there.
So, is that a thing against it? Or strike against?
That he's confusing? I mean, I agree with the point.
Because all men are like so evolutionarily behind, they're all not misfits.
We're in this
Oh,
together.
because we
Yeah.
make up the whole society, so if we're all behind, we're all this
Yeah.
society, so we're fine.
We're all retarded.
Yeah.
It's like a short bus sort of thing.
We're on the
Okay.
The short bus principle.
So maybe as a rhetorical device, as a rhetorical blah, he's like kind of uniting us, maybe?
Oh dear.
That's... Oh no!
How do you do that?
Man! Oh, it's a floating short bus. Oh, no, there we go. On the ocean.
Okay, that's a waste of
On the
time.
ocean, it's high.
Okay.
Well, that's symbolism.
And
Okay.
it's
Alright.
changing culture.
So I guess this is kind of like
We should include that diagram. That would be cool.
NRS. Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess like in the last one where they were saying how because we make up all society, we decide what's right and wrong. So I guess this is kind of, I mean, it has that same element where it's like we're all, even though we can't keep up with, they were talking about the evolution of technology, or was that not even, am I just not-
Culturally determined changes of his
No, they
social
said technology.
environment.
Yeah, because we can't keep up with the technology, but...
So that just makes us all kind of, well, I don't know.
Well, man determines his social environment through culture. Is one way you can restructure that sentence. I don't know if that helps. Okay, are we continuing?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, okay. Culture and warfare. We can now, at last, return to the problem of war, of uninhibited mass killing. It seems quite clear that our cultural evolution is at the root of the trouble. It is our cultural evolution that has caused the population explosion. In a nutshell, medical science, aiming at the reduction of suffering, has, in doing so, prolonged life for many individuals as well. Prolonged it to well beyond the point at which they produce offspring. Unlike the situation in any wild species, recruitment to the human population consistently surpasses losses through mortality. Agricultural and technical know-how have enabled us to grow food and to exploit other natural resources to such an extent that we can still feed, though only just, the enormous numbers of human beings on our crowded planet. The result is that we now live at a far higher density than that in which genetic evolution has molded our species. This, together with long-distance communication, leads to far more frequent, in fact, to continuous intergroup contacts, and so to continuous external provocation of aggression. Yet this alone would not explain our increased tendency to kill each other. It would merely lead to continuous threat behavior.
Does he misdefine war there? Because war isn't always uninhibited mass killing, I don't think. I think that that's kind of a
He's
strong
putting a general
definition of war. So that might go down as some diction use, I believe.
Those are pro or con.
Well, it depends on...
It's definitely loaded language and a
Yeah.
That's
large
a fallacy,
generalization.
though. Overgeneralization? Okay.
Yeah, I would say.
Also, he's saying as our population increase, war is also increasing. That's
So
not
he's-
true.
No. He said that
He's just
the
leaving it.
potential for aggressive
Oh, okay.
behavior is merely increasing.
Oh.
Because our communication is also getting better, so we can argue more.
Wasn't this like the box theory where like, the box is getting smaller and we have to like push out everything?
Yeah, sort of. We keep running into each other.
Where do you see describe one?
That's too short.
The bus is too short, so man just keep
I think
doing it.
there's a huge magic word. Extended
This
magic.
whole essay was
Well, no, wait. The problem of war, of uninhibited mass killing. Okay, so he is. Okay.
Is that even chalk?
Do you need to go look for more chalk?
No, I have.
So would this be a pro
She has
or a
chalk in
con?
her
This
back.
is a con.
Yeah, I know, but I really
Super
did have to take
general.
out the thing.
So use of loaded words, so that could be a...
So loaded words, I guess if it comes up later, then we can
No.
use it as a pro, but in this
Sure.
case, it's a con because he overloads them.
It killed
His
me.
words are overloaded.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Right here.
next.
Was by the upsetting yet. Ooh, what?
In the last one, he uses I and gives his own
So refers to
opinion. He
You mean
goes,
in
but I
one?
am not alone in believing. And I noticed
The
that
last paragraph.
because it's personal.
Well, he's allowed to do that though, like this is his
But
own
that's
personal
what
opinion.
The other
I
ones
feel
don't. I just noticed that, and I
Are you
remembered
sure that they
I should-
don't?
So the vice makes more
Yeah,
sense.
because a lot of them
I
I've read
didn't
that
know.
they say we, and like this one says we, talking about the human race in
Oh.
general.
But it's like him
Yeah.
in specific. I don't know. I just remember that.
The upsetting of the balance between aggression and fear, and this is what causes war, right there, is due to at least 3 other consequences of cultural evolution. It is an odd cultural phenomenon that warriors are both brainwashed and bullied into all-out fighting. They are brainwashed into believing that fleeing, originally as we have seen, an adaptive type of behavior, is despicable, cowardly. This seems to me due to the fact that man, accepting that in moral issues death might be preferable to fleeing, has falsely applied the moral concept of cowardice to matters of mere practical importance, to the dividing of living space. The fact that our soldiers are also bullied into all-out fighting by penalizing fleeing in battle is too well known to deserve elaboration.
Okay, and is it?
Isn't?
Yeah, the fact that our soldiers are also bullied into all-out fighting.
Yeah, like nobody's gonna flee from like the war front because they'll be like, "You're a loser."
Or
The
the
shot in the back.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
The
that's
Russians
true.
were famous for that one.
Yes, it were.
well, nothing. I was going to ask what happens in Ireland, but that has nothing to do. I'm just curious.
So rhetorical device-wise, just like stating your thesis right there,
Yeah,
that's kind of
really blunt.
very bluntness.
That's okay, he can be blunt.
This
I
is
know.
what caused
Okay,
war.
okay.
He would do well in an AP US
But
history.